Hi folks, I hope you're well. Blake here and I'm back with a new YouTube video, and this is all about editing software that you can use for making your own YouTube videos. So I've been on YouTube for quite a while now. I've been doing it for a long time. I've made a few hundred videos, and for the last few years I've been using a fantastic software called Camtasia. I should say that this video is not sponsored by the company. I'm just talking about it because it's what I use personally, and I wanted to share with you some details about it. So if you are looking for a new editing software, it might be one that's useful for you. A lot of YouTubers use it. Indeed, the reason I chose it is when I was first looking to make my editing a little bit more polished. I did a bit of a Google search for what is kind of most suitable editing software towards making YouTube videos and putting your own kind of brand on it, and Camtasia was one that came up quite often. And since moving to it, I've stuck with it for the last couple of years and I really enjoy it. So here's everything you need to know about the software. So first of all, the price. Camtasia is sort of middle of the range. It has a lot of really good professional tools, but it's not the thousands and thousands of pounds that some of the really kind of professional editing softwares are, so it is quite accessible. So for the cheapest version, it's about £170. But there are some other packages as well, so if you wanted to include more in-depth audio editing for whatever videos you're making, you can get their kind of Camtasia Create package, as it's called, which is £236 a year, and that includes Audiate, which is a software for more precise audio editing. Or their most extensive kind of professional package is the Camtasia Pro. That's quite a lot more expensive. It's about £475 nearly a year. That includes what I've already mentioned, plus AI tools, plus loads of online kind of resources you can make access to. Only really useful if you're doing loads and loads and loads of video making, but nevertheless they do have a range of packages, so take a look and see if you are interested after you've watched the video. I'll put the link to Camtasia's website down in the description below, so go and check them out if you are looking for a new editing software to get your hands on. So Camtasia is available on both Windows and Mac platforms, and I'll put up the minimum system requirements that are required here. So I won't go through these extensively, but again, I'll put the link to this in the description. I'd say that I've got a computer that's kind of middle of the range and it runs the software fine. Obviously, the higher performance you have, the easier it'll be able to run the software, especially if you're looking at very high quality video, things like 4K for instance. So for the rest of this video, I've used a video recording tool which is built into Camtasia. You can record anything on screen, whatever window you want, and for this purpose I've recorded the sort of dashboard of Camtasia and showed you a lot of the different tools that you can use in the software. It's easy to use and makes sense, and I'm going to kind of talk over some of the things that you can do in the software for your video editing needs. So in the captured footage, I go over the dashboard for a finished project, which was a recent YouTube video I put up. The finished version is here, on hosting an acoustic showcase at a local cafe. So just to show you what a finished project looks like and how you can edit various bits of media and edit the files and everything within that sort of context. Let's have a look. So when you buy or get a trial of the software, this is what you're greeted with when you sign in. You can see it's fairly user-friendly, so you've got your timeline along the bottom. You've got the title along the top, so you can see I'm editing the Pixies acoustic gig vlog. And on the left you've got your media, and helpfully the system actually separates your media based on whether it's pictures, videos, sounds, audio, whatever. It puts it into separate sections so you can easily find the thing you're looking to put on the timeline. And to put it on, it's really easy. You simply just drag it and drop it onto your timeline and it will drop in your piece of media for you to then edit and overlay as desired. So not only that, but when you want to add a new type of media to your library, all you have to do is go into the file in the top left and go and import media, and then go through your files and add it there. And it's widely accepting of lots of different things. So whether you take screenshots, take professional videos from kind of your phone, things that you've downloaded. So any kind of media file that you add will generally be accepted and can be put on the timeline at the bottom. It's a simple just drag and drop. So I just wanted to show you how easy it is to kind of edit files that are on the timeline. In terms of editing, we can do simple moving around by just grabbing hold of the file and moving it. We can also extend or shorten it by grabbing the ends and moving it to the left or right, as you'd expect. We can change it to a different track if we want to bring it to the front or background. And we can also change the audio. So you can see here, you can see the audio, and changing this green line or changing it on the right hand side here with this gain button changes how loud or quiet the audio clip is. We can also do that same audio editing for any of the videos, and you can see a little edit and audiate button here as well. So we can, if we have that, as you do in the more extensive packages, you can do more extensive editing of your audio files. You can see in this top left there's a record button, which is what I'm using to record this, and this allows you to screen record, which is really useful if you want to take anything off the video. So say you're doing a reaction video where you want to react to someone, you know, performing music or a bit of a film or whatever, you know how reaction videos work. You can use this button to record the original video and then overlay your reaction to it. So it's useful for the kind of on-screen recordings. In terms of further editing, if you wanted to change the scale of pictures, so you want a video that's being played and only covering part of the screen, you can change this. You can also change the opacity. So if you want a kind of video that's slightly transparent with another one playing behind it, you can do that as well. So I'm showing a few options here where that can be done, and putting one video in front of the other and making it somewhat transparent leads to this point where you can see both things happening at once. So it's really easy editing tool for that kind of transition if you want to do that. So if you wanted to have background music where you have a video with no sound, you can also right click and click this silence audio button. If you do that accidentally, you can click this little restore audio, and that will completely remove the audio from the video. So you can just do that and then have a song, let's say, playing in the background. So if I do it now, it's just like this. You can hear the song. On top of that, there's a really handy feature for either slow-mo or speeding up videos. So if you right click and instead go add clip speed, you can change the speed in which the playback of the video is performed. In doing so, you can make cool edits. So say you're an exercise kind of channel, you're going to do a run, you could add a clip speed, speed it up massively, and then just show the path kind of disappearing as you do your run sort of thing. So it's really helpful for that kind of interesting take on editing as well. I'll come onto it later, but you can edit the frame rates in all of these cases as well. And there's a little button here, this little one just above the timeline, which is for splitting a video. So if you wanted it to be cut in half rather than just shortened, you can use this little button and it'll split it for you at the point you desire, and that's useful for editing, especially if you've made any mistakes that you want to cut out, for instance. So what about if you wanted to add effects to your video? If you go on this little behaviors button, which is on the panel on the left, you can add a load of set behaviors which will change the way that the video appears, and this will allow you to kind of introduce media in a way, so it could dissolve in, it could pop up, it could fade in from black sort of thing. Also, there are ways to apply these effects during the media's been played and after it's been played as well. So there's a few different ways, and it gives you quite a lot of control here. And you can do that to kind of make it a bit more of a dynamic editing process. You might want it to be really minimal. So for me, a lot of my edits are just, it fades in from a fade out, so it just kind of comes in. It's not too much of a big effect. Or you could have it something which is a bit more kind of dynamic and a bit more explosive to make that happen. So as well as these dynamic video effects, there are a lot of other useful things on the software. So for instance, these audio effects you can bring in if you want to fade in the audio, fade it out, take out some background noise, for instance. They're all options on the software as well, and you can choose to what extent they're applied. And there are also quite a few transitions between video clips. So say you want to go from one video to another, you might want to fade between them, or you might want to bring one in quite a kind of more shocking way, a bit more of a sort of, it bounces in or it sort of explodes in. You can again apply that. There's loads and loads of these, as you can see. And if you zoom in or zoom out, so to zoom in you just do Control and then you scroll on your mouse, you can change the length of this transition. So it could be really quick and not very noticeable, or it could be a very gradual, for instance, fade. You can change that as desired. And when you apply it, you'll see that it really ties together different clips in your editing quite well indeed. As well as that, for any of these things like the effects, each one of them has this little star in the top right corner, and if you click that, that actually highlights it as one of your favorites to use. So say you're frequently using fading out to black, if you highlight that transition as a favorite, it will be in the little favorites tab on the top left side of the kind of editing tools that you have available to you. I won't go through all the editing tools because there's lots of them available, but one thing I wanted to talk about is annotations. So like this, where you write something on the screen, and there's an easy way of doing that in Camtasia. So there is an annotations kind of tab. You can add whatever text you like. So you can change the text, you can change the colour of it, the font, the size of it, whether it's bold or italic or underlined or any of that sort of thing. It's very easy to add and move around the screen, and once again, much like with the videos that I showed, you can change how that text appears. So you can make it kind of come in a very dynamic way, or you can make it just sit on the screen if you want to do that. Whatever you want to do. So for instance, if I wanted to make this text disappear, you can edit that in so it works in that sort of way. You can also change the speed in which that text, for instance, comes in or comes out. So all that is very easy to understand based on the software. So as well as text that you can annotate with, you can also put things like arrows or animations or shapes or anything like that on the screen as well. So if you want to make things pop up for your viewers, highlight for instance an arrow, look at this thing on the right hand side of the screen, you can do that fairly easily. So there's some really nice annotation tools, and it can keep things popping up on the screen, for instance, to keep your viewers entertained or engaged. As well as that, if you go in the library, you can see there are lots and lots of available things that the software have put in there, animations for you and various kind of overlays that you can put over. And there's even more than that on the internet. So if you've got a up-to-date Camtasia software, especially if you have one of the Pro extension ones, you can go on their massive library of online tools to get backgrounds, animations, logos, lots of different stuff that you can apply whenever you want, and you can kind of find your exact branding that you want to put on your videos. So for instance, here I'm showing off a template title that Camtasia have made available, and if you open up this title, because it's got within it several different animations and text and things, you can change them as you like. You can kind of change how long the animations take to happen, you can change the colour of the text, what the text says, how long it lasts for on the screen, all that sort of thing. And it's fairly easy to do as I'm showing here, it's very easy changes. So once you've made all the changes you want, all you have to do is click on this little X just above the timeline, which is specific for the group that you're editing, and then you go back to the main timeline and everything else will come up. So rather than just editing that one thing, you're then at the main screen again, editing everything for your project. So one thing I didn't mention is here, using this video that you're watching now, I've taken the audio from this video and separated it, which you can again do by right clicking on the clip and going on separate audio and video. And so you're hearing audio from this video over the top of the sort of screen capture I've taken of the software. But as well as that, if you wanted to do it in a different way, built into the software is a voice narration tool where you can type down what you want to say in your narration, and then you can basically set it playing and it will record on your computer microphone or whatever microphone you have attached your own narration, so you can go over the video and narrate it as desired. You can also set this so the videos won't make a noise while you're playing, they play back silently, and you can just add your own narration to it as desired. So it's a really helpful tool, and it means you have a lot more freedom when it comes to editing your media. There's many more visual effects on there, honestly most of which I haven't used, so just taking from me, there's lots on there. I won't say much more on that for now. There is a free 7-day trial, so if you want to see what other things are on there for yourself, then do go and check them out. So there are just a few more things I should go over. One is you can change the project settings. If you go in project settings, which is in the file drop down in the top left, you can change your frame rate that you have. You can also change the quality of the video that's been made in terms of file size, and you can change the dimensions you're working with. So say you wanted to make a mobile video rather than a YouTube video, and change the angle you're working with. Obviously, depending on the video that you've recorded, whether it's on phone or on a kind of professional camera or whatever, those dimensions will kind of have to work with the dimensions of the output video you want. So once you've got the suitable project settings and you've finished your project, you can export it. You can directly export it to YouTube if you've signed into it on the software. I don't usually do this because I want to kind of check through the produced video myself first, so I'll usually just export it as an MP4 and save that on my computer. But you can do that, you can choose what the file's saved as, you can choose the file size. If it's something like 4K, then obviously the quality of the video will be outstanding, but the file size will be massive, so it will really slow your computer down and take up lots and lots of data. So do bear that in mind, especially if you are making a lot of YouTube videos this way, or videos of any other kind. So once you've done that, it's very easy to then upload on YouTube. It's just a normal upload, and all the edit is already done for you So hopefully this video has covered all the basics for you, but there is a little help drop down in the software as well, where you can see tutorials, you can see kind of help info and get in touch with the company if there's anything that's unclear or anything you need help with for making your desired videos and using the software. Thank you very much for watching. That was my overview of Camtasia. It's a video editing software from Techsmith, and it's what I've used for the past few years to make my YouTube videos like this one that you are watching. If you enjoyed it, or you're looking to improve your video editing skills and put your professional brand kind of onto your YouTube videos, then please do go and check it out. All the links you need are down in the description below for that. And if you like YouTube videos like this in general, I not only do kind of guides towards making YouTube videos, I'm also a musician, I'm a music streamer, I'm a guitar teacher, I do kind of gag reels, I do loads and loads of different kind of content. And to stay up to date on that and get notified every time I release a new video, please consider clicking the subscribe and notification bell buttons, then you'll be the first to know when I release a new video. Thanks very much, take care of yourself, and I'll see you next time.